just because you founded the business doesn't mean you've got to lead the business.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Tell us, Nick, because everybody can be a leader. And why do you recommend to entrepreneurs that they didn't sign up for this, but they don't do it? They will stay in a million. Those companies that you see always selling a million and a half, million, and they never move from there 10 years, 15 years. It's exactly because that reason. The entrepreneur is still an entrepreneur. He hasn't progressed to the leadership path, right? So that's why cannot escape.
So I think there's an important point to make here, which was just because you founded the business doesn't mean you've got to lead the business. Sometimes, and there's loads of examples of this, it is the right thing to do to bring in a professional managing director, CEO, to lead the business, and the founder to one side and focuses on product or technical or engineering or something. So you don't have to lead the business. However, you said something which is interesting. You said everybody can be a leader. Is that true? And I guess there's a question around, and it was a question I was asked probably 10, 12 years ago. I was asked to do a study of what makes inspirational leaders. And the question I was asked is, are leaders created? So can anybody be an inspirational leader, or is you're born with? Is it in your DNA? My initial reaction was, no, not everybody can be an inspirational leader. But then I thought, actually, at some point in everyone's life, they are probably an inspirational leader, whether it's with their family, with their sports team, with their church, in their business, whatever it might be. There's probably at some point they had to be that leader, that step up. So I think everybody's got it in them. And when I'm coaching leaders, because I do spend a lot of time coaching business owners with this specific problem, is, I don't know how to lead. I don't know how to manage because I've never had to do it. There are 5 things I get them to focus on. So having that vision is key. Make sure you're clear on your vision and communicated it to your team, and they are energized behind that vision. So that the second one is communication. The third one is decision making, which I mentioned earlier. The fourth one is setting and living high standards and values. So if you want to succeed, all great leaders have the high standards and values, and they live them and they demonstrate them every day in the business. So the values of the business come from the top and are demonstrated from the top. So if you want your team to behave in a certain way, you need to behave in a certain way. And then the final one, the fifth one, is you just need to have tons of energy, because the energy from the top is infectious throughout the organization. So those are the 5 things I work on when I'm working with leaders.
So that the important thing that we have to stress, leadership is a skill. The more you practice, the better you become. Like
Yes.
driving a car or swim, right? So there, you practice a lot, you can develop some skill. But on the other hand, even we find it at work, right? That you have someone that is amazing at his job, okay? And then a management position gets available, and everybody's assume, okay, this is the best worker, the best. So he should be leading the whole team, okay? And sometimes the company brings someone from outside that never worked there, never have experience specific to manage that team, and all of a sudden the whole team gets upset, and even the person get upset. I said, why I don't know be on charge if I'm performing? So how can we solve this problem in corporate?
So I think there's the problem. How do you promote people from within? So how do you develop? And it's developing people. So it's how do you start when they are younger and develop those leadership skills and those management skills, or newer in their careers, not necessarily younger, but newer in their careers. And my career started in IBM, and IBM was absolutely fantastic at selecting and developing young managers. I was a manager at 22 years old. I was managing 20 people. The youngest of those, I think, was 35 or 36. So I was a very young manager for all the people I was managing. But you had to go through a very careful selection and training process to get your first manager's job. Not everybody should have aspirations to go up the career ladder to become a manager or a leader. That's not everybody. Not has the right mindset or has the right passion for people and for leading people, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a professional and being, really good in your profession. So I think the key thing for any business, new business, small businesses, big businesses, is identify those people who want to lead and have the right attributes to lead and manage, and then start developing them and giving them responsibilities and giving them skills, and send on some training courses as well. Not enough is invested in actually training people in the skills that are needed. So yeah, and of course, don't forget to get them a coach or mentor as well.
Tell us about your book. Why you decided to write this book? Where people can find it?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Harry. So the book I wrote, it's called You Can Achieve, so which is YUCAN. You can achieve any big goals with the 7P formula for success. And I was doing this 300-mile foot race in the Arctic. It was incredibly tough conditions, in very, very cold, 55 degrees centigrade. And it was the second day, second afternoon. I just got through a really, really hard night. And I just decided, when I was on this snowy trail, looking out into the distance, I've got to try and find a way to help other people achieve the kind of big goals that I achieved. And so while I was spent the next 5 or 6 days when I was on my own in the dark in the Arctic, I was thinking, how could I help people with a simple structure? And that was where I came up with the 7P formula. And then I wrote a book with a number of stories about my time in the military, my time doing endurance sports, and my time in business.
And then if somebody is in love with this conversation and want to find out more about your coaching, tell us a little bit more how people can find you, how this process works, and what help people with.
So my website is neilthubron.com. So that's neilthubron.com. I guess it will be in the notes here. And I'm passionate about helping businesses, business owners, leaders develop. So I'm passionately developing these through coaching, mentoring, and teaching. And I also have a sales training business, so helping sales organizations develop as well. So that's the other part of my business too.
So tell us a little bit more about sales, because everybody have a reaction to sales people. Oh, you're sales people, you will be selling. And let's face it, if everything happens until the sale is made, why not nothing moves?
So look, I'm absolutely passionate about sales as a profession. Most of my career I was in sales and I was leading sales teams. And as you said in the introduction, the last job I had 50 salespeople and a 1.6 billion target. And sales is never invested in or seen as a profession the same way as being a doctor or a solicitor or an accountant. Yeah, but I believe it should be. And salespeople should be invested in the same way that we invest in other professions. So I'm passionate about sales. I'm also passionate about trying to improve the sales conversation that we have, because too often salespeople are not given training to start with. They're just put in a sales role and given a target, and they are taught technical features and benefits about the service or the product that they're selling, but they have no concept of the business value that the customer is hoping to achieve by buying that product or service. So what I teach and what I'm focused on with all of the conversations I have, teaching, coaching, is how do you uncover the value that your products and service deliver, and then how do you have that business conversation? Because as soon as you start talking about the business value your product or service is delivering, price becomes so much less of an issue. So that's my passion in that space.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.